Hello everyone and welcome to your first session on cybersecurity and ethical hacking. So today we are going to see what is cybersecurity, what is ethical hacking. My name is Anjali Puri and I'll be your trainer for this session. So let's understand why cybersecurity plays an important role. So in today's digital world, technology is a part of our daily lives. We use smartphone to communicate, use computer, online banking, social media, email services, and cloud platform almost every day. However, as technology is growing, cyber threats are increasing. Every day, organization faces cybersecurity attacks such as phishing, data breaches, and malware infection. This is where cybersecurity plays an important role. In this session, we'll understand the basics of cybersecurity, ethical hacking, different type of hackers, the CIA Triad, and ethical hacking life cycle. Let's begin by understanding what cybersecurity actually means. Let's understand what is cybersecurity mean. So basically, cybersecurity is the practice of protecting computers, networks, applications, and data from the unauthorized access, attacks, damage, or theft. So, what is the prime objective of cybersecurity? So, the prime objective of cybersecurity is to ensure that all the information system should remain secure and available to only authorized users. So today almost every organization relies on technology, whether it is a bank, hospitals, college, government office, or e-commerce company, all depend on digital system. So what cybersecurity does? Cybersecurity helps us protect a computer and laptop, our mobile devices, networks and server in the organization, applications and website, mainly our personal data and business data. So without cybersecurity, attacker could easily steal information, damage any system, or disrupt business operation. So let's understand why cybersecurity is important. So we have seen that what is cybersecurity. Let's understand why cybersecurity is important to us, why cybersecurity matters to us. Cybersecurity is important because it protects sensitive information and help organizations operate securely. The first reason is that it protects sensitive information. Organizations store most of the data, financial records, employee details, customer information, any personal data, and business documents. Cybersecurity prevents unauthorized users from accessing this information. It prevents all the unauthorized users to access this information. It prevents data from data breach and information theft. So the second reason is that it prevents cyber attack. Cybersecurity protects system from malware, phishing attack, ransomware, and hacking attempts. It reduces the risk of financial and reputational damage. So the third reason is that business continuity. Organization needs their system to be available and operational all the time. Cybersecurity reduces the downtime and helps business continue functioning even during the security incidents. Finally, cybersecurity helps build trust and reputation. So, customers are more likely to trust organization that protects their information properly. So, every click, every login, and online transaction carries risk. So cybersecurity help our information and systems safe from attackers. So we understood that why cybersecurity matters. Let's talk about ethical hacking, one of the most exciting areas of cybersecurity. So this word ethical simply means doing something in the legal and authorized way. So ethical hacking is the authorized process, the legal process of identifying and testing security vulnerabilities. What are vulnerabilities? Vulnerabilities means weakness in any system, network, or in any application. So it is the process of identifying and testing security vulnerabilities in this system, network, or application. It will definitely help improve security posture of any organization to prevent the cyber threats. So, the professional who performs this ethical hacking are known as ethical hackers. Ethical hackers are basically who? Ethical hackers are works with the permission to find and fix those security weaknesses. Whatever security vulnerabilities are there, they will find it and fix those security weaknesses. Their goal is not to damage, not to disrupt anything. They will just simply find those vulnerabilities and fix those security weaknesses before any unethical hacker or any malicious hacker will find it. So, on the other hand, what is unethical hackers? Unethical hackers are basically who does not have permission to pen test, or those who do not take any permission to pen test. They exploit the vulnerabilities to gain for the personal gain or to steal any information or to cause any damage. So the main purpose of this ethical hacking is not to break those systems but to make it more secure. What is the purpose of ethical hacking? So, first is identify vulnerabilities before any malicious or any unethical hacker do. Before find the weaknesses in the system before any unethical hackers find it. Next, improve the security posture. It will definitely improve the security posture of any organization. Third is it will help protect sensitive information of any organization. Sensitive information in the sense organization have so much of financial data, then personal data of employees. So it will definitely help to protect sensitive information, and also it will prevent cyber attacks. So in next slide we'll see what are different type of hackers, who are white hat hackers, black hat hackers, and grey hat hackers. Now that we understand what ethical hacking is, let's look at the type of hackers. What are different type of hackers we have? One biggest misconception is that all hackers are criminals. However, that's not true. Hacker can be categorized based on their intentions and actions. The first type is that white hat hackers. White hat hackers are authorized security professional who works legally with the permission. So they are authorized security professional who helps organization identify and fix those vulnerabilities. They work legally and with the permissions. These are ethical hackers, often referred to as a good guys of cybersecurity. So the next type is black hat hackers. So black hat hackers are individual or a group of individuals who access system without the permission. They will exploit those vulnerabilities for the financial gain, for any financial gain or theft or any disruption. So their activities are illegal and malicious, making them the bad actors in the cybersecurity. They operate illegally and maliciously. Their intention is to damage or to disrupt any system, any network, or any application which is important to the organization. Next, let's move towards grey hat hackers. Grey hat hackers fall somewhere in between the white hat hackers and black hat hackers. They may access system without permission, but they do not cause any harm. They do not cause any harm. So they discover vulnerabilities and report them to the organization. However, because they act without authorization, their action can still be considered as unethical or illegal. So, in this simple way to remember this, white hat hackers are those who help protect the system, black hat hackers are those who try to exploit the system, and grey hat hackers operate somewhere in between. So the key difference between those three categories is permissions and intentions. So as a security professional, our goal is always to think like an attacker but act responsibly like a white hat hackers. For now, we have covered those three types: white hat hacker, black hat hacker, and grey hat hacker. But there are many different other categories as well, like a script kiddies, activist, insider threats, and sponsored hackers. So don't worry about this. As we'll move further into the course, we'll start exploring about those advanced cybersecurity topics. In next slide, we'll see what is CIA Triad and what is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Let's move on to the one of the most important concept and most fundamental concept in the cybersecurity. That is CIA Triad. So in cybersecurity, CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The CIA Triad is the fundamental security model that helps organization protect their information and the system. So this is basically a foundation upon which cybersecurity is built. As you can see in this slide, CIA Triad consists of three core principles, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality basically ensures that information is accessible only to the authorized individual. No unauthorized person can access the information. Integrity ensures that data remain accurate, complete, and unaltered. If I'm sending a file from user A to user B, it should remain accurate, complete, and unaltered. No modifications are accepted. Then availability ensures that system services and data are accessible whenever they are needed. So whenever an organization implements any security control, whether it's encryption, access control, backup, or monitoring, it is usually done to support one or more than these core principles, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We usually represent CIA triad in the form of triangle: confidentiality, integrity, and availability, as you can see in the picture. So for now, just remember that confidentiality, integrity, and availability are the three principles of cybersecurity. In the next few slides, we'll look at each of these principles individually and understand their importance with example and security concerns. Now, let's take a closer look to the first pillar of CI triad, that is confidentiality. So, confidentiality is keeping all this sensitive information private and ensuring that only authorized individual has access. So, confidentiality ensures that all the sensitive information is accessible only to the authorized individual and is protected from the unauthorized access or any disclosure. So, in simple term, not everyone should have access to the every piece of information. Access should only be granted to the people who are authorized and have legitimate need to know. So let's understand this with very simple example. Think about your online banking system or online banking account. You would not want any stranger to view your account balance, transaction history, ATM, PIN, or any personal information. That data should only be accessible to you and the authorized banking personnel. So I hope you got overview of what is confidentiality. Let's understand with another organization level example. Every organization store so much of sensitive data, so much of sensitive data such as employee records, salary details, customer database, financial reports, and business plan. Not every employee should have access to this information, right? Not every employee should have access to all those information like if the financial data, the business plans, the salary details. So for this, on this slide, I have shown you the example that salary records stored in the organization's HR system should only be accessible to authorized HR personnel only. If an employee from the other department can view those records without the permission, then confidentiality has been compromised. This is exactly what confidentiality aims to achieve, ensuring that all the sensitive information is only accessible to the right person. Confidentiality is important because it protects the personal data and business information. It prevents data breach and information leakage, and it also maintains the privacy and trust. To maintain confidentiality, organization use various security controls. So some of them are, first is encryption. So encryption is basically converting that information or converting that data into a secure format so that no unauthorized user can read it. Second is authentication. Authentication basically verifies the identity of user. Next is access control. Access control basically determines who can access specific resources or who can access this specific information. Next is multi-factor authentication. You all must have heard of this. Multi-factor authentication basically adds an extra layer to the security, right? And then last is role-based access control. That is where access is granted based on the person's job role and responsibility. That is not a normal employee can see the salary details, financial records in the organization. So, whenever you hear this term confidentiality, right, remember only one simple question: who is allowed to see this information? If only authorized individual can access this information, then only confidentiality is being maintained. I hope you have understood what is confidentiality, why it is important, what are the security controls. We have taken two examples. So in the next slide, we'll move towards second pillar of CIA Triad, which is integrity. Now let's move on the second pillar of CIA Triad, that is integrity. So basically, integrity ensures that data remains accurate, complete, and unchanged unless modified by authorized individual. Basically, if I'm sending this file from user A to user B, it should be accurate, complete whatever I have sent without any modification until and unless it is modified by the authorized individual. Okay. So, in simple terms, integrity is about making sure that information is correct and has not tampered by anyone. That is, it has not modified by someone who does not have the authorized access. So, let's understand the integrity with this simple example. Imagine you transfer a 10,000 rupees to your friend using a online banking. If this transaction amount is changed to rupees 1000 or let's say 1 lakh while during the process, the data is no longer accurate. It would be a violation to the integrity, right? So the data has modified, data has changed, so it is the violation to the integrity. So now let's look this integrity with the other another example, that is as shown in this slide. I have taken one example. A student examination marks should not be altered by the unauthorized user. Only authorized faculty member with that particular subject should be able to update the marks whenever required. If someone changes those marks without that permission, right? If you have 50 marks, someone changes it to 60. So that is the harm to the integrity, right? So if someone changes the marks without the permission, the integrity of data is compromised. This is why integrity is so important, and it is the second most important pillar of CI Triad, right? So why is it important? Because it's prevent unauthorized modification of the data by unauthorized user, maintains data accuracy and reliability, and it also ensures trust in the information system. So to maintain integrity, organization uses various security control. Some common example includes hashing, that is basically which helps verify that data has not been modified. We'll see all those terms: hashing, digital signature, file integrity monitoring, and audit logs in next further slides. For now, all those controls are used to ensure the integrity. So whenever you hear the term integrity, remember one simple question: has this information been changed without authorization? If data remains accurate, complete, and trustworthy, then integrity is being maintained. Then integrity is being maintained. So that's it for integrity. Now let's move on to the third and final pillar of CI Triad, that is availability. So what is availability? Availability ensures that every system, any application, or any data should be accessible to the only authorized user whenever they are needed. So, in simple terms, the right people should be able to access the right resources, should be able to access right resources at the right time, right? Whenever needed. So, let's understand this with a simple example. Imagine you need to make a urgent online payment, but your banking application is down. Bank app is down and not accessible to you. Even though your data is secure and accurate, it is not available to you when you need it. This is an availability issue. So now let's look at the organization level example. Consider a company as a company that relies on the email server for daily communication. If the email server goes down for several hours, employees may not be able to communicate, share file, or perform important tasks. This can affect the productivity and business operation. So as shown on the slide, this is the example. Customer should be able to access the online banking services 24 by 7 without any interruption. So this is the perfect example to the availability. All the banking services should be available 24 by 7 without any interruption to the end user and authorized user. So availability is important because it supports continuous business operations. It reduces the downtime and service interruption. Also, it ensures access during emergencies. So to maintain availability, organization uses several security controls. Some common examples are regular backup, that is data can be restored if something goes wrong. Disaster recovery plan, which helps organization recover from incidents quickly. Then redundant systems, load balancing, and DDoS protection. This DDoS term we'll see in the further lectures. So whenever you hear the term availability, remember one simple question. Can authorized user access the system or data whenever they need it? If the answer is yes, then availability is being maintained. And with that, we have completed the three pillars of CIA Triad. First is confidentiality. We have seen that confidentiality is protecting information from unauthorized access. Only a authorized individual can access the data. Integrity is ensuring information remains accurate and trustworthy. It should not be modified by unauthorized user. And availability is ensuring information and services are accessible whenever needed. That is CIA Triad. So together these principles form the foundation of cybersecurity and helps organization protect their systems and data effectively. So that's it for CI Triad. I hope you have understood what is CI Triad, what is confidentiality, availability, and integrity. Now let's move towards the important topic, that is ethical hacking life cycle. What is the mindset of ethical hacker while doing the pen testing?